The official secret of this show is that I've always been the crazy one, and I will always be the crazy one.
A lot of people have tried to figure this out, and clearly I have. This is how you beat Messi.
Pay me a true compliment. If I sense at all that it is dishonest, you will be disqualified.
No.
Best compliment of me wins. Hello and welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot, your LAFC gateway drug and the only LAFC podcast that's currently fasting for a blood draw tomorrow. I'm Travis Helwig.
I'm Vince LaRosa.
And I'm Darren Miller. Welcome to our double preview episode of the first leg of LAFC's CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinal match versus Inter Miami on Wednesday, April 2nd at 8:30 p.m. at BMO Stadium, followed by their MLS match versus Houston Dynamo on Saturday, April 5th at 5:30 p.m. at Shell Energy Stadium. You can watch Wednesday's match on Fox and Saturday's match on MLS Season Pass, and our live post-game call-in show will start 10 minutes after the final whistle of both matches at youtube.com/@HappyFootSadFoot.
Later in the show, we'll play a game to decide whether Vince or Darren gets my second ticket to see Messi this Wednesday, and I'll figure it out by deciding which one knows me better. And also, we'll talk about storylines for the week, and we'll make some bets. But first, it's time for listener-mandated banter. Guys, we've made it. We've made it to the Miami game.
Oh.
What do you think I was going to say?
Didn't happen
TMZ?
last season at all.
Yeah, or something good. I don't know. I mean, I guess the Miami game's good. I just thought that
We made it. 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, right. We
Oh.
did do that. That was pretty cool.
Thank
made
you,
it.
everyone.
Something
Before
else.
April. We wanted it by May.
Do we get one of those plaques?
I think you get that at 1 million. So I don't think
Yeah,
we're
you
close.
do.
Okay, so we're close then.
You get it at 1 million.
Yeah, we just need 100,000 times. Wait, what's 1,000 times 100 is 1 million? No,
This isn't a math podcast. We don't have to know
1,000
the answer.
times 1,000.
1,000 times 1,000. So we need
That's 1,000 thousands. Oh, it's 1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need 1,000 times more subscribers. So we want to get 1,000 times more subscribers by May. So if you can help us get there, we
Gotta start
just
somewhere.
need Messi to tweet about the show, and then we can.
Oh,
get
that'll do it.
Could you imagine how
1,000.
immensely disappointed that other 999,000 people would be to like check in and be like, this is the one that Messi said to listen to. And they're like, this is the one? Nah.
It's like all the people who go to that pizza place that he tweeted out.
But like if we how quickly do they send the plaque? Like if we get 1 million, does it just automatically go out?
Yeah, how do they find your address?
This is what's important.
Yeah, do they send it to you, Darren?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not fair.
Yeah, we should all get one.
Well, I mean, I won't necessarily be the one to keep it.
Yeah, we'll auction it off.
My house isn't a black hole. I mean, if something comes to my house, it's not like it's gone forever.
I mean, I've never been to your house. I don't know that.
It's true.
Have I been to your house?
Have
I've been
you
to the
been to
outside
my
of your
house?
Not this
You've
new
been to
house.
my house?
Not this house. I've been to the outside
Oh.
of this house because I came during COVID, but I don't think I've ever been to the inside of this house.
Not very many people have been inside our house since we had the twins,
Mm-hmm.
because it's
You keep them in
honestly
cages.
maybe it is a black hole. It's not ready for company very
Wait,
frequently.
you do let the twins outside though, right? It's not because it's a situation where they're like animals
Yeah,
that you're
they're not like
Right,
chained
yes.
to the radiator.
yeah.
No,
They're under
If
your
you
desk
could
right now.
do that and you knew it wouldn't damage them mentally, would you do it?
absolutely not.
I don't know if it wouldn't
Huh?
damage them mentally. What's the downside, Darren?
Hence
You
why
said
Travis and I
mentally.
don't have
Damage them
children.
physically. It's morally wrong. It's probably illegal. There's so many other reasons. Should I keep going?
Meanwhile, I'm like calling the police on people who have dogs tied up in their yard, and I'm like, you could tie a baby to a radiator.
Yeah. Every like 5 episodes, we learn like another good reason why it's good that you decided not to have kids.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think so. I got into watches recently, and 2 other friends of mine.
That's like kids,
also,
yeah.
They reached out to me. They were like, we also weirdly just got into watches, and I was like, oh right, we're all in our 40s and don't have kids. This is what happens. You either have to take your kid to school, or you watch YouTube videos about watches.
I've noticed a slight shift in the Happy Foot Sad Foot YouTube algorithm on our feed.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm subscribed to. Or that's a YouTube that I normally use. Can other people see what we follow on YouTube?
I don't know if they
Think
dig, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
we
I
can
don't
also
think they can.
erase stuff if we want.
But Darren can definitely tell if the thing shifts all of a sudden to like all watch content.
Yeah, it's a lot of watches and then a lot of like sexy AI women dancing. That's what
that I haven't seen actually.
Okay. Actually, I'd like to hear. Let's hear from the listeners.
Like
I would love to hear what is your algorithm. There always is, it always does seem like there's just two things that it gives you. Like it's even if you do like you have multiple interests, it's true. All right, we're serving you this and this. We really can't be bothered to keep track of all the other things that you're dealing with. Even though yes, we definitely are keeping track of all the other things you're into.
You know what I want? I want our listeners in the Discord to post their Instagram Explore page because it is the most intimate look into someone's psyche to see what's on.
Does it really vary that much? Mine always just seems like this is just like what's trending on the platform overall.
I reset.
And it's always stuff that I've like never seen before and never.
You can reset it.
You can reset it. I reset mine and I tried to be like, all right, I really want it to be soccer and cooking and like cool clothes, and it wasn't for forever. And then I like literally touched one guitar video, and now I've got like 80 guys teaching me guitar scales for like. It's too much.
Well, did you learn any?
No, I'm not gonna.
You can play guitar or what?
Guitar scales. Are
Wait, don't you already know how to play guitar?
Yeah, but not like really well. Just like.
Why haven't you ripped the guitar on this podcast?
Played in a band.
I know. Well, it's just because I'm shy. And
when we do a live show,
I really haven't played it in that long of a time. So that's why I was like, maybe I should pick it up again. And I was like, wait, is this what people are doing to practice? Now I'm out again.
Okay, but they're not teaching you like 101 stuff. They're teaching you like actual.
Yeah, they're like, well, this is Mixolodian. And I'm like, what the Nickelodeon? Like, when did this happen?
What?
I don't know.
That's a good place to end the banter.
Sure.
Let's start the show.
All right. Well, as the more casually obsessed LAFC fan of the hosts on this show, I love the team and I'll never miss a match, but I don't have time to stay on top of all the advanced stats, roster moves, rumors, tactics, and off-the-field drama that you don't get from just watching the matches and taking a wild guess at what you're seeing on the pitch. Sure, just watching soccer is fun, but it can get complicated when your star player doesn't score, you signed an international superstar that hasn't scored for a year and isn't playing, your new striker is only here temporarily, probably. What was your new striker before is injured, and now your leading scorers and league player are a couple kids and a couple defenders. Also, you might have a new rival. You're playing in a tournament while also playing in the league, and your second division team's also playing in another tournament, and now you might end up playing in another tournament you didn't know you'd be in before, in addition to another tournament that just hasn't started yet. And that's just tournaments. I don't know why that's even the thing that really matters right now, or if it is, or why I'm talking about it. It's just an example. I don't really know anything. Get off my back. Luckily, to make sense of it all, my friends Travis, the human LAFC crazy wall.
You seem like the crazy wall today.
Yeah, you're going through it.
The official secret of this show is that I've always been the crazy one, and I will always be the crazy one.
King of the casuals.
Luckily, to make sense of it all, my friends Travis, the human LAFC crazy wall, and Vince, the human LAFC sane human, catch me up every week on the most important storylines that live beneath the surface of every match so we can all enjoy them so much more in a segment we call Storylines.
Some days it just feels good to hear, you know, you need it.
Yeah.
Darren. Oh, wait, before we even start, we didn't even talk about the Club World Cup thing. I guess it's not official yet, but if Leon loses their appeal, there's going to be a 1-game playoff between us and Club America to decide who gets in the Club World Cup.
That seems to be the case, which then goes back to what Darren's been saying all along. They're just making this up as they go.
Yeah.
This is great.
I mean,
this is a real quality competition.
I also remember like Alajuelense has a pretty good argument of why they should be in there, but they're like, no, we want some big markets in here. Yeah. Go fuck yourself. Go.
It's crazy to me that the article is like, the comment from them is like, yeah, we've been tossing ideas around. It's like, wait, isn't there just like a rule that decides it?
Yeah, they're basically like, it seems like it's pretty obvious who it should be. They're like, not so fast. Not so fast.
We'd like to give it to either the biggest club on the continent or one from Los Angeles.
We have a great idea for a pre-tournament.
Not for any other reason than sporting merit.
And I'm sure it'll be good for our team to play more games. Darren,
yes.
Vince, and for us making the podcast, I come to you on the Monday of the most important week in LAFC's season so far with some storylines. And the first one is obvious, and it's this. which LAFC will show up against Inter Miami? If you could describe our team in one word this season, it would be inconsistent. Playing sluggish, uncreative soccer against NYCFC, playing intense, exciting soccer, a man down against San Diego, and barely even showing up in the second leg of the Champions League against the Columbus Crew and almost blowing a 3-0 lead. But we hold out hope for those few brief glimpses of beauty we've seen this season. Smoley's incredible strike from 30 yards out last game, or Daza's jump from last season, Delgado's beautiful field vision, and no game has caused our team to show up more than the first leg of the Columbus round, where we took on a team we couldn't beat. We stomped them 3-0, Columbus Crew at home, allowing us to eke by in aggregate in the shitty second leg. Obviously, the team will be geared up as much for this coming match as they were for our rivalry against Columbus. This is easily the most important game of 2025 so far, but they also know more eyes will be on them because of who we're playing. Vince, what are you looking for from LAFC this week to show that they're going to show up against a very, very difficult opponent?
Like what? Like before the game?
No,
like I would like to see some really good social media posts. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some fire like cinematic stuff.
Yes, I want to know what you want to see from the brand.
And I would love like a DoorDash video if like Timmy Tillman could deliver DoorDash, and then they're like, "What's your favorite food with DoorDash?"
Maybe like a good Farmer John's thing.
Yeah, Max cooking up some hot dogs with Farmer John. Why not?
Hey, you call me Farmer Max. No, yeah. I mean, like each game, it feels like we show up with a different intensity and a different vibe as a team, I guess. And so I'm saying, when you start watching the game on Wednesday, what do you hope the team will bring, either structurally or emotionally or what? I don't know what the fucking question is, Vince. Just talk about the team.
I got you now. I got you now. I just want to make sure I was going in the right direction.
Just get a robot to voice to ADR Travis and just saying,
"Oh my God,
what will happen on Wednesday?"
What do you want to see from the team that will make you happy, Vince?
We have enough video. Wait, we have enough video of Travis at this point. We could run it through AI and just when he's not here next time, do his storylines like he's here.
Coming up.
God damn it.
We could.
All right, let me answer the damn question.
Or should we?
The easy answer is obviously a lot of what you saw against Columbus. But if I want to be more specific, first of all, it's the intensity, like just the level at which they played that game. You could tell there was an extra like zip. They really had clear ideas of how they wanted to play against the ball and how they wanted to play with the ball. But expanding on that, I really think, and a lot of people have tried to figure this out, and clearly I have, this is how you beat Messi. You be perfect for 90 minutes. Like it. I'm not even joking. Like that. Like honestly, that he's an amazing, talented, probably the greatest footballer of all time. But really, when I think about it, like more, like, and I watch him more, especially in his kind of MLS years, what he does to you is he really forces you to play a 90-minute game and play almost perfect, because the guy just punishes mistakes. Like one mistake, back of the net. Second mistake, back of the net. Like you really have to be perfect. And people are like, yeah, well, you probably want to be perfect in every game. I don't know. Think about that San Diego game. LAFC was shit for 40 minutes and nearly could have got a point and possibly won that game. Like, there's a lot of games in which you can get away with a lot of stuff throughout a game. I think you take 40 minutes off against Messi and you find yourself 4-0 down. And even if you play 80 minutes against Messi and find yourself 2-0 up, you could very much take those final 10 minutes off and find yourself 3-2 down and losing. So I think it's really about not giving him extra possessions, and just you really have to be resolute in everything you're doing. And if you are going to make mistakes, make them as far away from your goal as possible.
That was something that stuck out to me last time Miami came to town, and the first time I ever got to watch Messi live. I mean, the only time, is just how much he sort of like just hangs back and watches, and just like, he almost is just in charge of what's going on. Like he just sees what's happening. And the minute he sees something, no one else realizes what he's seen yet, but he makes a move and his gravity pulls things in a certain direction that just opens up something very naturally in a way that is like, I've never seen it before, where it looks like he's doing nothing. And then he'll move 10 feet and suddenly something has opened up that you haven't seen a second ago. It was really like, he's like a conductor of an orchestra when he's out there. You know, it's the beautiful game is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
It's a game of inches.
It really is.
You know?
Yeah, he's the Beethoven of
Well, can I ask you a question about that? I don't understand why it's been enough time now in his career. I mean, are there players that do that just not quite as well? It just seems crazy that he still plays so differently than everybody else on the field every time. And it's just like, well, usually when there's a player who's that dominant, you get a lot of players who are just like, well, that's the blueprint. They do that. And then like you get someone who's like pretty much a carbon copy, but like at 80% maybe. And they're really good too. And it's like, oh, they play like Messi. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of players like that.
Yeah, but I think Travis's bigger point is that he reads the game so well. And I don't think any player reads the game the way he does. So
Why isn't that what people are trying to build up?
I mean, some people are geniuses, right? Like just some people are like better at things than everyone else who's done it before.
Sure. Like Neymar was probably no one's a better dribbler. See, that's the thing. No one's better than him. Like at everything, honestly. Like there's even
I just mean like really good and doing the same thing.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's
trying.
He's peak
jumping
of everything.
There's
right?
Players that are better than him at jumping.
I don't know.
Goalkeeping.
No, like he's literally had teammates on Barcelona, and they're like, we go 1v1 with him, and sometimes he'll play defense, and he's the best defender too. It just we don't ask him to defend because he's so good at what else he does. So like he literally is 99th percentile in every aspect of the game, right? But then you have a lot of players that just aren't smart, or they just don't read the game. And then he's 99th percent on reading the game, on anticipating the game. So it's like, that's why his skills never deteriorate, because he understands where the game is going a lot quicker than anybody in the world. And that's
where to put his effort, right? Like he doesn't run that much.
No. And I will say this, like we do have to say that because of who he is, his teammates do a lot of jobs for him. And look, if any of us were on the team, we'd be the same. Like the guy's incredibly gifted, but like if his teammates weren't willing to put in a lot of the shifts and didn't play for him the way that they do at times, I don't think it comes off quite the same. I think it's maybe 75% as effective, but yeah, you kind of couple those things together and that's what you get. You get a guy that, like, to your point, Darren, seems like it's recreatable, but it's just not.
Are there any other players that are like up there at least just with respect to reading the game?
I mean,
Nathan Ordaz?
Yeah,
definitely. Right.
I mean, remember a guy who used to play for us, Fito Zelaya? No. I mean, Zlatan read the game pretty well, but he was also like this physical specimen, right? So it was like you didn't quite see, and like he had this weird like dexterity and understanding of like his body that a lot of players don't have, especially guys that are 6'4" or whatever he was. But no, man, there's really not, like, it's like a lot of guys, when their skills drop off in terms of their physicality, like they either start becoming like assist guys, playmakers deeper, or they just completely drop off. But Messi's still like, you can't find a guy at his age deciding, I'm going to beat 7 guys. I'm going to go on 7 dribbles and they're all going to be effective and I'm going to beat multiple guys on it. Like that's just incredible. And it's incredibly draining. And he's got that in his bag, but then also, again, he just reads the game and he knows exactly, like, he's an amazing dribbler, but also knows this is the right time to dribble. And this is when there's the spaces have all lined up. It's almost like checkers when you jump like 4 at one time. He's like, oh, all the spaces are lined up, and now I just won the game.
Cut to Denny Bouanga not passing to Carlos Vela last time we played.
Right.
Messi.
You will notice he's really good at 1-2s. I mean, maybe Denny should just take a look at that.
I mean, it's a good time to remind Denny to pass more. If Carlos Vela was on the team, he would get yelled at and it would be fine. We're going to talk about Miami in the next storyline, but I want to quickly just talk about LAFC a little bit more. Who do you think, I mean, like, what do you anticipate our backline looking like against a team as good as Miami? And also what do you think? Like, our roster's been in a good amount of flux the last couple of weeks. Any predictions for who you think is going to start? Either of you can answer this question.
I mean, the real question
is Marlon back?
I don't think.
Are we back?
Even if he is back, do you think he would play? Like, he's been out for
I don't know.
like 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, Chanot's not going to make his debut.
Chanot hasn't played this season. Like, but that is I think we're zeroing in on the real question. Who's going to partner Aaron Long? Yeah, you're pretty sure it's going to be Hollingshead and Palencia. Who partners Aaron Long? And I know a lot of people are losing their minds right now, and they're like, it better not be Eddie Segura. But
yeah,
the dude had a pretty good game against Sporting KC. Like, again, he's not the best center back in the world. He's not even top of our depth chart. But right now he might be the best option because, I don't know. And Nkosi looked really good in recovery moments, but not so good with the ball. And I worry about him giving the ball away cheaply. And a lot of people will be like, well, Eddie does that all the time. But like, Eddie's been better with the ball than I think a lot of people have given him credit for.
The fact that Nkosi started last game, I think, is giving away that he's not starting this game, right? Like that's a spot I think he was rotating against.
Possible, or against a team that really presses. Steve's like, let's see how he handles the ball, because Nkosi's he's fit. He can, at this point in the season, like it'll be a grind when they start to pick up these games like they're going to every other couple days. But like going from 1 to 2 right now, just to the second game, they should be all fit, and Nkosi should be able to start if he has to.
And you think up front again, Under, Bouanga, Martinez, or do you think we get a Bobasi? Or Bobasi's injured, right?
Bobasi's supposedly injured. I mean, you would like to have a guy that the ball could stick to a little bit better, but I think maybe it's gonna have to be that experiment again.
Fun.
Well, I wonder if this is one of those games where Giroud has a little bit extra in him because it's Messi to like show up.
He wasn't even on the roster, but against San Diego,
he wasn't injured and he wasn't on the roster. Me.
He was not injured and he wasn't on the roster. There's a real question there. It's not like it's a big travel for the a nice 15-minute flight. Well, that's a question. We'll have a bigger question if he's not on the roster this week. That's okay. So that's the LAFC side. I think the storyline every fan is worried about. We talked about it a little bit, and it's this: just how can LAFC stop Messi? Inter Miami won the Supporter Shield last year, dominating the regular season, and they've picked up right where they left off, missing Messi many of their matches and still having won 4, tied 1, and lost 0. Last year, Miami broke the record for most points in a season with 74. This year already, Miami has 13 points in just 5 games. It's obviously early, but that puts Miami on pace to have over 88 points on the season, well beyond last year's record. I don't think anyone thinks that's going to happen, but that's the pace that they're on. Also this year, they already have a league-high goal differential of +6. We spoke a lot in the post-game show about LAFC playing individual soccer and only succeeding when we play collective soccer. We played well against Columbus in the first leg that way. We played well against SKC that way. Miami seems to play incredibly as a team, even without Messi. It seems like a true unit of a squad. And all signs point to Messi being in the game this Wednesday, particularly because he played over the weekend and he scored. He seems fit. He seems ready to go. Vince, what makes Miami so good, both this season and last, outside of Messi? I feel like we talked about Messi a lot. And what can LAFC do to slow them down, if anything?
They keep hitting on all these like young players that they get from South America. Like to your point, like Messi doesn't have to play and these guys still show up and they still do like really good things. And Luis Suarez seems to be like, when he came, everyone was like, he's washed, blah, blah. And he scored a lot of goals and he slowed down a little bit. And he has slowed down, but he seems to embrace the role as like an elder statesman and a playmaker. And I think he's always had a little bit in that in his bag, but you would have thought like he would, as he's not scoring, he would just get frustrated and not help the team. But him and Busquets as well has stepped up a level after being somewhat slow at first. And it just like, they've surrounded the really smart technical guys that have played at the highest level for so long with just young studs that don't stop running. And that's made it's made for a really good team. Like we said, you can have a Messi, but you really got to have 10 players that like will die for Messi. And they will, even when he's not on the pitch, like they'll run around as much as they can. And Javier Mascherano is the type of coach that would absolutely demand that of them. That was the type of player he was. He's a fiery type, and that's the way he played. Famously, I don't know if you know this, Travis, and I think you should. The man got an injury during a World Cup. Do you know what injury he got?
Broken dick.
Close. Tore his anus.
Oh,
Even worse.
Yeah.
How do you do that in a soccer game?
I think he was sliding.
So how do you fix it?
I know how you do it off a soccer game.
Of course,
You don't have to tell me twice.
Tell me how to tear an anus.
Why do you think I'm getting my blood drawn tomorrow?
Yeah. Maybe it's a cover. Apparently.
Oh, it was the soccer game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one play. Do you remember that one play?
Yeah.
Just the first time he has contacted the game. Ow! Ow!
My ass.
Can't believe I made it this long.
Yeah. I mean this in more ways than one. Apparently overextended himself on the play.
I guess so.
But how do teams slow them down when they're successful? Or is it just they wait for Miami to have off
Has
games?
any team been successful yet?
Not this season.
Been pretty good against them. They almost beat them this year.
They were, but they made mistakes. They gave Messi extra opportunities from bad giveaways, and they paid the price.
And whenever Miami plays, they tend to have 15 minutes of stoppage time if they're down as well.
Yeah, there's that. I mean,
the refs like watching them play too.
It really does come down to ultimately putting in a 90-minute performance. I'm not saying like you have to be absolutely flawless, but you got to be pretty close to what LAFC was against Columbus, where like you get a little bit of luck, but also like you create a lot of your own luck by being just as close to perfect as you can be. And then you have to finish your chances. 1-0 lead is not enough. 2-0 lead is not enough. You really have to get that third goal. And then you got,
especially because it's 2 legs.
Yeah. And then again, you have to get a little bit lucky. Like there's going to be, because they could have a flawless game and Messi could dribble 3 guys and bury it from 25 yards in the top corner. But I think you really have to control the ball. That's what scares me. I think the best way to play against Miami is to control the ball and not sit deep. And I worry that LAFC might think we can sit deep, get numbers behind the ball. That'll really muck up the play. And Messi will have that many people to go through. And then I do think they can be counted on through their center backs, but it's just you're playing with fire.
Darren, follow-up question. Why did you sucker punch that guy in San Diego?
Oh, that. Yeah. You know, I was just trying to be a real supporter.
You did a good job. No, but we've spoken
just a real supporter.
I'm just trying to be like a real fan, because that's what real fans do, right?
Moving on from that scary man who lives in the same city as us. We've spoken a lot about how he knows where we're going to be when there's games. So moving on, we've spoken a lot. This is my real question for you, Darren. We've spoken a lot about not feeling good about this team's chances in the Champions League based on how we've been playing. We said that before Columbus, and then we had our best game of the season at home against Columbus. How are you feeling vibe-wise about what this team can accomplish? Do you think there's a chance we could beat Miami? What's your vibe check on the team and our chances for this series?
I don't think it's impossible. It's Miami. If they lose bad, I'm not going to feel too bad about it, because it's like, yeah, that's what they're doing to teams these days. And I won't be like,
what's the most amount of
terrified.
goals we could lose by?
What's the level?
Okay, yeah. What's the okay, what's the amount they could lose by? And it's like, oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
What's the amount
but like,
over
make
that?
it, but make it
like,
still,
this is
make
a
it
bad situation.
Make it still bad.
If it's 4, I'm like, that was embarrassing. 3, I'm like, it's Messi. I guess is Messi the one
more? I might say 4 I'm okay with. 5 is like, but it goes straight to like, I'm so embarrassed.
Vince, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, 4 is pretty. I feel like this is a no-win situation for me, because people will be like, because I honestly like 5 or 6 goals is actually when it's really embarrassing territory. But people are like, what? 3-0 is fucking embarrassing. And I'm like,
yeah, people think that.
If it's 3-0 without Messi goal contributions, then I'm embarrassed.
I also think it depends on like how poor, like if it's like 3-0 and LAFC doesn't have a single shot on target, then I'll be like, yeah, that's really, really bad. But if it's like 3-0 and
like we held our own,
and like they got unlucky and maybe hit the post a couple times, that's a different type of 3-0. But I'm going
to say,
our
optimistic listeners are screaming at the radio, right?
Well, I didn't say the other half of what I was going to say, which is that I also won't be surprised if LAFC wins. Like, it's not that I have no faith in them. I have a weird combination of no faith and a lot of faith in them right now. And I don't know how to parse it out. But if they get destroyed, I won't be shocked and I won't be terrified for the next game. But if they win, I also won't be surprised. I think that it will make sense given how that they've showed they can play. And if they just play that way that they've shown they are capable of, then it's like, yeah, this is who we are. This is we did it. And all the times that they've lost so far has been like, they didn't show up in the way they were supposed to. We knew what the game plan was. We didn't pull it off. But like, they can. So yeah, if they do, it's like, yeah, fuck yeah. We're the team that can beat them.
Darren,
I won't be like, oh my God, how did we
I was
do
actually
that?
just about to say, this is why like I think Darren should give every single pregame talk. He's nailed it.
Yeah, everyone thinks we're going to fail, but I don't think so. And I don't know why.
And let me tell you why, guys.
It's because I have confidence, but I'm not sure why I have confidence.
Yeah,
let me tell you why.
I think all of the possible things you could think all at once. It's perfect. It's fail-proof.
Darren's like, if you just believe the way I believe, you can do anything.
They've shown us that they can show up in both ways. It's based on evidence, right? Like both versions of this are based on evidence. They've played terribly and they've played amazing.
Mm-hmm. They played terribly and won if they played well and lost, right? Like we've seen all sides of it at this point.
We've seen everything.
So that's only one game we have this week. And our final storyline of the week is a good one. And it's this. Do we talk about Houston now on this podcast? This weekend, we play the always terrible to think about Houston Dynamo, and we had a long-running rule on this podcast that we do not talk about Houston. We don't say the name of the team. We don't say the city. They were the team who must not be named. But last year, after they took down the Galaxy on decision day and landed us the number 1 seed in the playoffs, we decided that now we do talk about Houston. Darren, where do we land on this in the world of our podcast? What's the ruling? Do we talk about Houston?
This is a fool me once situation. What happened was we tripped and fell into talking about them, and we were punished for it. We opened the door to talking about Houston, and it turned out to be a trap where we ended up having a much harder path in the playoffs, and it was all a trick. And we should be learning our lesson now. If we didn't learn it before, we don't talk about Houston. Okay.
There it is. The rules, we don't talk about Houston.
And just to be clear, it's not because we hate them and they're a sworn enemy and they've done us dirty. It's because they're boring and there's nothing useful to talk about. And
I hate you, Ben Olsen. I hate you as much as you hate our field.
Oh, wait, yeah, we do. There are things we do actually.
Vince wanted Ben Olsen on the list.
You're on my list.
You're on Vince's list. You're not. We have to do an update of the list.
But mostly it's just painfully uninteresting.
My man Gage works on that field really hard, and how dare you on not national television, Apple, say
how dare you on 1,000 Apple TV boxes?
International.
How dare you on a streaming platform say that my man's not taking care of that field? How dare you?
All right. Well, Vince, I had a question about what we should look for in that game, but we don't talk about Houston. So when we come back, we're going to play a game to decide which one of you will come with me to see the greatest soccer player of all time. And we're back. This week, we play against Inter Miami, and I am a season ticket holder for LAFC, which means I automatically get tickets to the game unless I send an email and say, don't give them to me. And because I didn't send that email, I have 2 tickets to the game. That means only one of my co-hosts can come with me to see the greatest soccer player of all time play against the greatest soccer team of all time, Los Angeles Football Club. So I thought the best way to decide this conundrum for me, a good person, is to play a game where we decide objectively which one of you deserves to come with me more. It's a game we're calling, Isn't That Guy Travis a Really Nice Guy? Here's how the game works. I'm going to ask you each a series of questions about me and how well you know me. Now, Darren's known me for longer, but I made sure that these questions were specific enough that he would gain no advantage in this contest. I'm also going to ask you each specific question. So if I think one of you might know better than the other, I won't ask you that question. So at the end of it, we'll tally up the points, and whoever wins and whoever is nicest to me throughout will get to go with me to see Inter Miami versus LAFC at 8:30 for some reason. I do think that could actually help us, is that it's going to kind of fuck up all of their biological clocks, their internal clocks. Yeah, like that's 12:30 for them? That's late. 11:30? Yeah, still. It's late to play a game.
Still.
Yeah, but it's Miami. They party all night.
They got a lot of party supplies. They'll be fine. Okay, so here, I'm going to go just 1-to-1. I don't have special sound effects the way Darren does. So the game is called Isn't That Travis?
If you'd like some sound effects, I'm happy to provide them.
Whoa, hey.
Really sweet of you, Darren. Whoa. Actually, yes. Would you mind hitting?
It would be my pleasure, honestly. I enjoy doing it. So it's not even a favor.
That's really nice of you, Darren.
Thank
and
you.
The game is won both by answering the questions correctly and by being the nicest to me, as I said in the rules.
I mean, I didn't even register that. That just went through in one ear and out the other. I was just doing that out of the goodness of my heart, I guess.
Question 1 is for Vince. Vince, we all know I believe in one true God, and he's a man and he's Catholic. What is my Catholic confirmation name? Is it A, Francis? Is it B, Anthony? Is it C, Christopher? Or is it D, Nkosi?
Okay, so before I knew this was going to be multiple choice, the first name that came to my head was Christopher. So I'm going to go Christopher.
The fact that you would have guessed it correctly without the answers said out loud is wild. 1 point to Vince. Give me a buzz. Yeah, there's the ding. Okay.
Wow.
Insane that you didn't.
That is crazy.
It's even more insane because Christopher is not like a saint. All the other ones are saints, even Saint Nkosi. But the Francis and Anthony are like common. Christopher was just the name I picked. So that's funny.
What's Nkosi the saint of?
The
swag.
Patron saint of swag, yes.
Swag and vibes.
So yeah. Of holding a dog he doesn't own. Darren, question 2 is for you.
Okay.
No pressure.
I often talk about hating my hometown in Connecticut. What is the name of the famous asbestos factory that made all of our soil and water in the town toxic? Is it A, Raybestos, named after a man named Raymond? Is it B, Best Asbestos USA? Is it C, Stratford Asbestos Distribution, aka SAD? Or is it D, Marathon Refinery? I can repeat them if you want.
Yeah, what was B?
B was Best Asbestos USA.
That's the one I really wanted to be.
I wish it was that one.
Okay. I'm going to go with C.
Stratford Asbestos Distribution, aka SAD?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is A, Raybestos, named after a man named Raymond.
I was going to say, you better have a bad sound effect for that. Come on, because if we're going to tilt the game in this way.
Raybestos, which is so funny.
Which is awesome.
I wrote that one off immediately because I was like, that would be too good.
Right?
I was setting my hopes. I was trying to set my hopes like in a realistic way with the other one.
Follow-up question, Darren. What sport in my hometown was Raybestos the sponsor of the best professional sports team of that sport?
What? Okay.
We had a professional sports team in Stratford that Raybestos was the sponsor of. What was the sport? We were the best team in the nation for a long time.
Professional sports team.
What could you be a professional best team in the nation? Lacrosse?
Very rich person answer. The answer is women's softball. Women's softball. We were the home of the Raybestos Breakettes because they made asbestos breaks, and they're ladies. So obviously they couldn't just be breaks. They have to be breakettes.
Oh, yes. The female version of the product they make.
So if it's a woman's car, they're called breakettes.
A product is male.
Yes. Normal products are male. And then when they're lady products,
especially if it's made in the USA.
It's like when they make pink razors and they're like, these razors are for ladies.
Well, how else would you know?
Yeah. I don't want one of these lady razors. My razor's got to have 5 blades and be strong.
Got to be able to like cut me hard, bro.
Question 3, and it's for both of you. Closest to the answer wins.
Ooh.
At what age did I lose my virginity?
No. Oh no.
Darren does have an advantage because he knew me when I was younger, but I don't think he knows the answer to this.
I don't think I do.
I'm actually glad that's where the answer was going. I thought you were going to say Darren has an advantage because he was there.
Because I lost it to Darren.
I didn't want to presume that. I thought he just might have been there.
In the cuck chair.
Yeah. It was an improv thing.
We did a lot of cultish stuff in improv, but never group sex, unfortunately. You wouldn't want to have group sex with those people.
I feel like in a small town, there's not a lot of things to do. And, you get up to trouble, idle hands and all. I'm gonna go safe fish. Say 17.
Darren?
I'm going to say 19.
Vince, it was a really nice answer. And I think that was really nice of you to think that I lost my virginity in high school. And I just want to say that out loud, that I think you were being really kind with that answer. I was 19. Darren nailed it on the head.
Oh yeah.
You think the clue is raised very Catholic, scared to lose my virginity or God would hate me. I had to go to college and forget that God isn't real, or learn that God isn't real.
It only takes one.
Yeah. Okay, we don't need to get into it. Question 4.
Tell us more details about the story.
Yeah. No. Question 4.
And at least you didn't ask us the guest duration.
You would have been. That one's easy. Question 4. It's for both of you.
Okay.
Pay me a true compliment. If I sense at all that it is dishonest, you will be disqualified. No. Best compliment of me wins.
Is it? Do you get points off for taking longer to think of one?
Yeah, that's what I started thinking. I immediately started thinking about only that.
You got to go fast. Like, oh, no. You got to go quick. You got to go quick.
Oh, it's hard to think of something nice to say about me. That's true.
Yeah, but also
I'm trying to think of a good compliment that has nothing to do with writing.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to think of one that's also funny.
I don't want to be like, you're funny.
This is a comedy podcast, no matter what Jeff Talk says. And so because I could pay you a lot of actually legitimate compliments, but then that's on the record.
How bad do you want the tickets?
I mean, no.
This is taking too long. Neither of you get.
Okay, I have mine.
Okay, yeah, go.
I think you are socially very sharp in a way that genuinely brings people together, reads a room extremely well, and you make genuine connections with people in a way that feels effortless. That is inspiring.
That is a very nice compliment, because I didn't think any of those things are true. So it feels really nice to hear that. Thank you, Darren. Great compliment. Vince, your turn to compliment me.
That is some bullshit. Everyone knows that you are socially awkward, but I will say this for you. You're a handsome man. And I appreciate you for that, because
Vince wins.
Oh, we went straight for it. Oh no. I should have thought of that.
I just know when I think of our podcast, and I do rank us by our looks often, I always put you at the top.
At the top? Okay, this is great. Vince, you win for sure.
I blew it on that one.
I will say,
I put in so much effort too.
Darren's really warmed my heart, but yours, I think, reads the compliment that I want the most. So thank you. Thank you.
That's because I know you I know you well. Yeah. You'd think Darren would know this by now, but
let's not go too far. I don't know if that's decided yet.
I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Wishful thinking on Darren's part to think that he could really get to you that way, you know?
Ultimately, I think what Vince is saying is the opposite of a compliment in the end. What he's saying now.
Question's over.
Question 5, and it's for Vince. Every Happy Foot, Sad Foot listener knows I was obsessed with Third Eye Blind as a kid. But at what concert did I drink my first sip of alcohol? Was it A, Matchbox 20 with my best friend Paul Briganti? B, Newfound Glory with a girl who friend-zoned me named Fallon? C, Dave Matthews Band with my sister Jessie and her boyfriend John? Or D, Third Eye Blind with someone I met on the Third Eye Blind message board?
Is this for Vince?
This is for Vince.
This is a tough one. I feel like Darren knows the answer. See, now I'm thrown off by the virginity question, because I wanted to go Newfound Glory, because I thought, you'd be trying to pull your, pop punk kid moves out there, and you got to be cool in front of the ladies, maybe sip on a alcoholic beverage, and it's in time for you to break out of your shell. But and then Matchbox 20 is just it's too on the nose, and it can't be true. Now if you said it was like Rob whatever his name with Santana, then I'd be like, now we're in.
It's Rob Thomas.
It's Rob Thomas. Sorry, it is Rob Thomas. I was reaching for it and knew it was like some very simple name, but I couldn't get there.
You come off too cool.
No, I was going to say Rob. I was going to say Rob Smith, and I was like, I know that's wrong. Man, I'd rather be right than wrong. Okay, I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna go. It's the Newfound Glory concert.
I've never seen Newfound Glory live, despite listening to them with a girl who friend-zoned me named Fallon. And I also, it was a trick question. I have gone to a Third Eye Blind concert with someone I met at on a Third Eye Blind message board, but that was not where I had my first sip of alcohol.
That was when you were 10.
First sip of alcohol was with, he was with an old man at a Third Eye Blind concert. Was with my sister Jessie and her boyfriend John, who's a brewer, at the Dave Matthews Band concert in a parking lot outside of the Meadows.
I don't know your siblings' names, and so I started questioning. I'm like, I don't want to look really stupid, and you go, that would be a good thing if I actually had it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, now I'm an idiot.
I had 2 Coronas and a Heineken and a folding chair. And I remember peeing in the bathroom while people were chanting, "Let's go Whalers," and being like, I feel good. Whatever this is, I'll do it for the next 30 years.
I would replay that night every night for the rest of my
life. Question 6, and it's for Darren. Because I'm having a midlife crisis and haven't had a real job in over a year, like I mentioned earlier, I recently got into watches. What watch have I become obsessed with, despite the fact that it is dog shit ugly? Is it A, Audemars Piguet's Royal Oak in ice blue? Is it B, Rolex GMT Master with the Pepsi bezel? Is it C, Omega Speedmaster Silver Snoopy? Or is it D, Richard Mille Ferrari F1 collab in Tangerine Rosé?
What the fuck? What was any of that?
Oh, see, if you knew about watches, you could eliminate some of those. You could eliminate some of those real quick.
And I think Darren knew the last one, so I gave you switcheroo question.
I feel like the question should be in English, to be fair.
Well, some of these aren't English brands, Darren.
Yeah.
Swiss. In fact, none of them are from the United States or England. An AP, a Rolex, an Omega, and a Richard Mille.
Okay, can you give me the? Can you say them again? I'm sorry.
Just say A, B, or C or D. You're not.
Say them again.
An Audemars Piguet Royal Oak in ice blue. A Rolex GMT Master with a Pepsi bezel. Omega Speedmaster Silver Snoopy. Or Richard Mille Ferrari F1 collab in Tangerine
Silver
Rosé.
Snoopy?
I like that you're asking as if it was going to help you.
As in the dog?
Yeah, as in the dog. Yeah. Well, one has Pepsi in it. One has Snoopy in it. One has Formula One in it.
Yeah.
And the question is, what have I become obsessed with despite the fact that it is dog shit ugly?
I know you threw this little clue in there to throw me off, but I'm going to bite on it anyway. It's the one with the Snoopy, the silver Snoopy. C, I think. That is incorrect, but I do want that watch. I do like the Snoopy Speedmaster, Darren, but it's not what I've been obsessed with. Vince, you want to steal? They're stealing?
I know. Well,
I could have stole the last one.
This is all in the eye of the beholder. I'm not a big fan of the Royal Oak.
I'm not either. So that gives you two options.
You're helping him.
I'm gonna go with the Royal Oak. I think that's ugly, actually.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't mind one. That's not the correct answer. The correct answer is the Pepsi bezel, which I think.
No.
What?
Okay, I'm not going to the game with you.
Oh, no.
Because I'm obsessed with the Pepsi bezel.
But you think it's dog shit?
I don't anymore. But when I first saw it, I was like, "That's an ugly watch."
I think that's okay. We'll have it. This is a different podcast. We're doing a different podcast.
I want it. I want the watch. It's my favorite watch.
I think it's objectively. I mean, the Omega is probably objectively the coolest, but I think the Rolex is right below it.
I don't know what the hell's happening.
I think we'll talk about this after. Once I learned the story of the color and why it's those colors and where it was developed, now I love it and the history of it. But at first glance, I'm like, that's a watch for douchebags.
Some guy in marketing.
Oh no, it definitely they all are. But I'm just saying, you were talking about just objective looks, and I think the
Snoopy Speedmaster is not for douchebags. I think Snoopy being on there means that only certain confident people will get the Omega Speedmaster with the Snoopy. Okay, final question.
The dog shit thing was to throw me off.
Yes. Yeah. I thought you would guess Rolex and I wanted to fuck you. Question 7, and it's for both of you. Because I'm a house husband whose LAFC season tickets are subsidized by my wife's successful TV show, this question is worth triple. What day does Emmy Award-winning Best Comedies Hacks season 4? What?
Who's this for?
Both of you.
Is it whoever answers first?
Whoever answers closest or first. What day does Emmy Award-winning Best Comedy Hacks season 4 premiere on everyone's favorite streaming service, Max?
April
10th.
Darren got it right. Darren, you're coming to the game.
Oh, you son of a
bitch.
It's
worth triple.
It's worth triple. He got it right, Vince. He's a fan of my wife's show. Have you watched it, Vince?
I actually legitimately do enjoy Hacks, but
it's my favorite show.
I actually don't care because I have other friends that gave me a ticket anyway. So
what?
Suck on that.
What?
I have real friends that don't make me play games and jump through hoops to go to games.
This whole thing was supposed to make one of you feel bad.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm doing the post game now.
It's going to be hard to do.
Now I'm going just because I did play games.
Well, how do you feel about that? Now, how do you feel about your guys' friendship together? Think about
what if
it.
this is what tears us apart?
Now the friendship's transactional. I hate it.
Yeah, think about it.
I hate everything about this.
Wait,
when we come back,
do you pick out Darren's outfit for the game or what happens?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm like, make sure you wear this scarf because I'm going to wear this scarf. When we come back, more about the Pepsi bezel.
And we're back.
You're going. You get to see Messi. Have you ever seen Messi before?
Yeah, last time.
Oh,
but have you ever seen him wearing what?
To be honest, last time I didn't actually get it because of the chaos. I didn't actually get a chance to really watch any of the game. So this will genuinely be my first time seeing the game.
Oh yeah, you were running around
I
You were
am
running around that game. You were there, but
you were like making content.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, it was for Taylor's thing.
Yeah.
You know, he won't be there.
us, right?
It's a CCC game. I was gonna say he'll be calling the game, but he won't be.
Oh, will Alexi be there?
Oh my God. Are we going to be in the same building as Alexi Lawless?
It's possible.
In the press box?
I have promised myself that I'll challenge him to a fist fight if I see him. Is it worth getting banned from BMO Stadium?
Of course it is.
I would highly not recommend that.
I know he'll beat me. I know he'll beat me. He's so long, but I have to do it.
You know what that's going to be really difficult to deal with too is he's going to be really nice.
Yeah, he actually is really nice.
You're going to like immediately be like, this guy's cool though.
Okay, I don't need to fight him. I just need him to show me his camera roll on January 6, 2021. If
Here's the thing, it's not a thing that he's hiding anymore. Like,
let's make some bets.
Let's publicly align with it. Oh boy.
Okay, now it's time for say the stuff.
Yes, Travis, whatever you say, Travis.
Yeah, I'm giving you the tickets, Darren. Go.
Now it's time for a segment called Bet It and Forget It.
Oh no, the wrong one. No one won. This is a mess of an episode, but a fun one. Here we go. Type 2. Good thing that so many more people are going to listen to this messy episode.
Back to Travis's virginity story. Oh.
Bet it and forget it.
Every week we end the show with a bet for this week's game. We make an outlandish prediction, something that almost definitely will not happen, but could. Each week we all put up $5, and if no one hits, the money rolls over to the next week, and eventually by the time someone's weird prediction comes true, they might win a good chunk of change. None of our bets hit last week, as is custom, so the pool for this week is now $90. Does anyone have a bet?
Some real money.
I have a bet, and I'm very confident.
Oh.
I feel really good about this one. And my bet is this. 2 red cards.
Just 2.
Two, at least 2 red cards.
Yeah, but doesn't have to be any particular
Remember, this
team.
is for the week.
No. This is for Miami. 2 red cards in the game of Miami.
Yeah, we're not. Are we even doing a post game for
we're
the
not talking.
Team?
We are because
I like the idea that the bet doesn't even count for it.
Yeah,
we're doing it for our fans, but not because they're playing a team.
Yeah, we're not going to watch the game.
Yeah, that would actually
be a fun experiment. Really don't watch the game and still do the post game, and just be like, boy, just take wild guesses.
I thought Yoni used to call in from bed. That was his season 1 thing. He hasn't called it in a bit. People don't even know who Yoni is. He coined Bawanga Blast, which the team uses now, and he doesn't coin anymore.
He texted us a while back. I just realized about coming on the show. We both didn't respond.
Oh, really?
I am just realizing that now. I think I was like, oh yeah, we got to respond to that, and then
have you talked to him since?
Yeah, he has
FIFA, Darren. He can play. He can play FIFA with us.
I mean, he's
really
like
good.
how I got addicted originally.
He fucking destroyed me, and he just downloaded it. Okay, my bet is really 2 red cards in the Miami game, at least 2. I was going to say, my original bet was going to be Messi red card, but I'm going to say 2 red cards total, doesn't matter which player, because they're not going to give Messi a red card.
Got it. Yeah, never referee a game again.
2 things you can't do: give him a red card or ask for his jersey.
Like, I would imagine if a ref gave him a red card, he would just like shake his head no and then not leave.
The ref would be sent off.
And the ref would just be like, okay,
right. Yeah. I'm
sure.
bad.
Yeah, whatever.
No problem, sir. The way that Darren acts around me.
Is it wild enough to say LAFC shutout?
Whoa.
Give me a little bit more.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, give me a little bit more. You can
wow.
say, because I almost said LAFC 3-0.
I mean, 2 red cards is a lot.
LAFC 3-0 is predicting the score. Yeah, so I guess if I predict the score too. Or can I say LAFC shutout and they score 2+?
I think Miami is so good that is outlandish, right? We have to anticipate Miami's going to score at least 1.
Right.
Darren,
I'm saying 2. And I'm saying 2+, and by 2+, I mean like it's 3 or more.
Right. And so
I'm not calling
calling
the score.
Okay, so it's not 2, it's 3 or more.
Yeah. So like if they score 4 and everyone's like, haha, you got it wrong. I'm like, no, bro.
Right. No, yeah. Okay,
I got it.
I think that's outlandish for sure. And I can't see a world in which we blow out Inter Miami. So that's
what'd you think going into that Columbus game?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever made a bet for something that isn't something I want to root for, but I'm about to.
I'll get the Pepsi bezel.
0-0.
Oh, I'd hate that so much.
Me too. I hate it.
No chance, right?
I hate it. And the amount that I hated it made me feel like I had to do it.
Yeah.
Which makes me hate it more.
I flirted with it, but I was like, 1, I don't think it's gonna happen. 2, like I don't want that to happen. Just like you, but Darren, you're evil.
The reason it's a funny score.
I regret it so hard.
To think you're going to be in a funny outfit sitting next to Travis and watching a 0-0 game.
Not
Can
funny.
I change it? I want to change it. Can I change it? Can I go the opposite way? I'll say at least 8 goals total.
That feels most likely of all of these, but I'm cool with it. 8 is crazy.
Yeah, I love it. Then at least we'll have fun. Well, theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically. Well, we shall see. That's our big birthday episode. Happy big birthday to Inter Miami. Our theme music is done by the insane team of James Valentine from Maroon 5, Nate Walcott from Bright Eyes, and famous jazz drummer Louis Palmer. You can subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/@happyfootsadfoot. And if you enjoyed the show, you want to help us keep making it, you want to join the Discord, you want to get discounts on merch, you want to get these podcasts ad-free, head on over to patreon.com/happyfootsadfoot. Not a lot of money, and it helps us keep making the show, and you can interact with us all the time. That's it. We love you, and we'll see you at BMO, baby. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
One for good
disclaimer: if you join the Patreon, like it's really cool, but you won't interact with me.
That's true. That's true. The coldness in which Vince won't say I love you is the same coldness in which he treats the Patreon.
But if you see me in the stadium, I'm really nice in person.
Yeah, but he just doesn't want to deal with the Discord.
Once a week, I pop in and I'll like someone's comment. So if you're that lucky one, it's almost the same as me saying I love you after that episode.
It's like Bill Murray getting into an elevator with you and saying no one will believe this. Bye.